We're going to get into our first story. How many hours of sleep do we get on average?
Well, for the first time ever, the average sleep hours, number of hours that we sleep for South Korea went down.
Oh.
Yeah. So interestingly, work and studying hours also went down as well.
What?
So it's like, what are you people doing in the
I
meantime?
know what you're doing.
We know what we're all doing. Well, this is according to a Statistics Korea survey for 2024. This is a lifestyle survey taken every 5 years. This year it was across 25,000 people. So they surveyed people in South Korea who are of age 10 and older. So keep in mind this includes children and teenagers who biologically they do need more sleep.
Yes.
The average number of hours that people slept every day came to 8 hours and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Again, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, teenagers. And I swear teenagers sleep for like 20 hours a day, seemingly. So this is actually 8 minutes fewer than 5 years ago.
Okay.
First time this has happened ever since record-taking. The survey began in 1999. In 99, South Koreans were on average sleeping 7 hours and 47 minutes. We peaked in the last survey, 2019, 8 hours and 12 minutes.
Wow.
Kind of reaching that peak and going down. There was definitely a huge difference between how much you slept on weekday versus weekends.
Okay.
Weekdays, an average of 7 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay.
And then on Saturdays and Sundays, people are getting 8.5 hours and 8 hours and almost 50 minutes on Sundays. So yeah.
Wow.
Definitely sleeping more on Sundays. There was, of course, a huge age difference. Teens were getting 8 hours and 37 minutes. Do that. Keep growing. People in their 50s, the least amount at 7 hours and 40 minutes. Of course, it's biological, especially for women as they go through hormonal changes. But then there was also a huge increase in people who couldn't fall asleep. And we are getting the reports on that on our YouTube channel as well.
Yes.
So almost 12% reported a little bit of tossing and turning beforehand. I mean, but though, how many people, they fall immediately asleep once their head hits the pillow? Some do.
Yes.
We're jealous. But on average, people spend about 32 minutes between when they went to bed versus falling asleep. So they went to bed at an average time of 11:30, basically, and they woke up at 7 a.m. That was the average.
Okay.
And then let's just quickly touching on meal time and eating time, snacks and meals combined, almost 2 hours, an hour and 54 minutes, which is down by just a short amount, a minute compared to 5 years ago.
So if we're sleeping, less and our eating time has gone down, I mean, do I really need to ask? But I have to ask. I mean, that thing's attached to Haley's hand.
It is media consumption. What else could it be? 17 minutes added on to media consumption. And by the way, media includes books too. Anyways, broadcasts, videos, and the internet for a total of 2 hours and 43 minutes per day. So this category has, of course, been on the rise ever since 2009 when the internet kind of became, or social media became a thing.
Yes.
And it's been increasing at a larger increment. For people in their 30s and above, media consumption took up half of their leisure time.
Ooh, yes.
So interestingly, younger people are spending more time outside. On Sunday, of course, it was way worse with the average media consumption of 3 hours and 34 minutes, meaning that people spent about a quarter of their time awake, watching, reading, or listening to things on their phones.
If we were to find at least one upside.
You gotta.
We gotta find something of this heat wave is that there seems to be fewer mosquitoes.
A very faint silver lining, if you will. Although I keep getting bitten, so
really?
You're welcome, I guess, everyone. I'm just attracting them for you. Right. So the shorter rain season plus the relentless heat, the mosquitoes aren't surviving.
Yes.
So this is according to Seoul City's mosquito forecast. Their mosquito index is at level 2, attention level. Usually mid-July, they go up to level 3 or the highest 4.
Okay.
Mosquito activity level. So this index says when it's at 100, if you stand still, you go outside, stand still at nighttime, you get bitten at least 5 times a span of about 10 minutes. Recently, that index has gone way down to like 41, 42.
I see.
Experts say that the sweet spot for mosquitoes, 15 to 30 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Which is quite a bit range, actually.
Yes.
But with the temperatures in the mid or even to upper 30s, it's too hot. Also, plus that, the shorter rain season dried up the bodies of stillwater ponds where mosquitoes do lay their eggs and larvae. On top of that, when we got rain, it was heavy rain, which made it impossible for the eggs and the mosquitoes to survive.
Yes. So does that mean we're in the clear or not?
No, of course not, because again, the temperature will go down to 15 to 30 now in the fall. So we're going to have to wait and see, because last year with similar conditions, mosquito activity did hit the peak in June. They went down in July and August, only to go back up in September. So let's keep those fingers crossed and the zappers charged.
Yes, because I guess it's just a delay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. A lot of people are still trying to stay active despite the heat, including, and I can't believe this, I mean, you probably do it too, running, but this can be dangerous.
Yes, but I do this in like the dark.
Okay.
When it's breezy. But I do see people as I'm driving in, running in the morning, and the sun's up already, and it's kind of blazing down. And even 10 a.m., there are people running. And I'm like, this is like, we're getting heat wave alerts.
Yes.
So temperature's still high. This can actually hurt your health. So let's be aware of that.
Okay.
So doctors say, especially for people with pre-existing illnesses like cardiovascular issues, it can actually lead to, worst case scenario, heart attacks or strokes. So because in the heat, your heart is already working overtime because it needs to pump out more blood to lower the body temperature.
Sure.
So running on top of this, it is putting your heart on extra overtime, putting pressure on this vital organ, especially for those who have pre-existing issues. So if you are running out of breath, more so than usual, can actually be a sign of cardiovascular disease or issues. So if you have, on top of running out of breath, chest pains, cold sweat, nausea, and dizziness, they do recommend that you go to the hospital immediately.
Okay.
Also, even for healthy individuals, meaning without pre-existing issues, heat stroke is a real thing.
Yes.
So if you stop sweating all of a sudden and then feel nauseous, if you feel like vomiting, this could be a danger sign of heat stroke. So stop working out immediately. Go somewhere shaded, indoors and air-conditioned is better, and cool off. And if symptoms don't subside, again, visit the hospital. Even the hot ground can be bad for your feet because the air temperature may be, say, about 33 degrees Celsius, but the asphalt can be up to 50 degrees Celsius. So people have these fancy shoes, but even they cannot stop that kind of a heat. So that can actually even burn your feet or even hurt the muscles in your feet.
Sure.
So during these summer months, it is better to run indoors or go be a super early bird, early in the morning or later at night. And of course, make sure to hydrate not only water, but electrolyte if possible.
Indeed. So yes, exercising is good, and we made fun of it, but of course, not in this kind of daytime heat.
No.
For our next story, tip boxes and tip jars are sneaking their way into Korean culture, and people are not happy about it.
According to a social media post, this was from a customer who ate at a restaurant in Yeouido, noticed this red box on their way out. So it said tip box on the top and wrote, "Did you have a good meal? We always try to give you the best service and food. Thank you." So they were suggesting a tip. Response has been mostly negative. Some saying this is South Korea. Don't bring in the tip culture. Also, they didn't like that it was so blatant. Food prices already have service charges built into them.
Yes.
There have been other cases too. Recently, apparently an eel place in Sejong had a sign at every single table. If you like the server, if you like the service, please consider giving about 5,000 won in tips per table. It's a very specific amount.
But I also need the facts because I feel like this might be kind of like gray area, at least in her mind.
Right.
So do you have any information on that?
Yeah, so I actually do have the legality on this. Under the current Food Sanitation Act, an establishment must post the final price, which includes the value-added tax and service charges. So requiring tips is illegal.
Okay.
I know there were a couple places on the delivery app that had the tip, like it was like a required option that you had to add, and that's actually illegal. Once again, required. However, if these are tip boxes and jars and kind of a nudge suggestion, not illegal. You might not like it, but it's not illegal. But again, it is quite controversial because a lot of people in South Korea, they seem to be against tip culture making its way to South Korea. And I mean, it is even controversial in countries that do have tips, namely the U.S.
Right now, indeed.
Do you want to tip a kiosk?
No. The answer is no. All right, let's end it on a positive note. This social worker threw herself literally in front of a person who was attempting suicide.
Right. So, I mean, of course, we do have to give you a trigger warning. We were going to be talking about attempted suicide. But the social worker, she saw two young women on Mapo Bridge with their feet on the railing, looking like they were about to jump off. So this social worker is Ms. Jung Sona, who happened to be passing by with a friend. She ran there. They physically dragged down the women and called 119. The two women struggled to free themselves and try to get back onto the railing, but Jung and her friend, they held on for dear life.
Oh my goodness.
Literally for about 10 minutes, which if you are struggling, 10 minutes is a long time.
It is.
Because you don't know what's going to happen. And then they were able to safely pass them on to the 119 first responders.
Right. So how was she able to act so quickly in this situation?
Right. So coincidentally, she is not only a social worker, but a social worker who works at the Crisis and Suicide Prevention Center at Hanyang University Hospital. So the perfect person at the perfect time. And she is in charge of checking in with and helping high-risk individuals who may reattempt suicide. So this particular center is Seoul City's only 24/7 emergency response center for such cases. It monitors and checks in with on average 500 people per year after they've attempted suicide. They offer services like suicide prevention, psychological, psychiatric care, and even helps with treatment fees because economic pressure is another stress factor. So Jung said her instincts just kicked in and she acted quickly. And it also made her realize that how important her job is in protecting lives and said that she really, truly wants to help people turn their lives into something hopeful.
Well, great story to end it on. The fact that, she went out of her way. Thank you for all the stories. And of course, we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.